Well, I'm a painter, mostly in oils, though more recently in acrylics as well. And what I do is I go off to somewhere very remote and wild, often Scotland, and I immerse myself in the landscape.
And what sort of feelings do you get when you're in these landscapes in Scotland? Just describe your recent trip.
So it was incredibly stormy when I arrived, but I like quite stormy weather, particularly that sort of weather you get in Scotland where it's very cloudy and everything's moving very fast and you get these fleeting bits of sunshine, mists moving and the land emerging, and particularly in the Outer Hebrides they have these massive white sands. Sometimes the sand is brighter than the sky. It makes me feel a lot about our impermanence in nature. I want you to feel small but part of it.
There's something dramatic about your paintings, but incredibly meditative and restful.
Yes, I've been told that quite a lot. Although they're made often in very stormy weather, they don't always give that feeling. They actually make people feel very still. I want them to celebrate nature and celebrate the wildness of nature, the parts of nature that are not tamed by man. I went first to Lewes and also drove around Harris quite a bit, and I would do these acrylics or watercolours from my memory of what I'd seen that day. The light between the islands of Benbecula and South Uist. This one as well, trying to get this sort of stillness of the reflection in the water, trying to get these kind of slightly turquoise seas and vast amounts of sand and rock that are in between the two islands. The clouds on the mountains suddenly being lit up by the sun. How watery the sort of marsh and macha land of South Uist is, and often the sea is sort of almost turquoise looking. How the tide is coming in on these vast sands in between the islands. Wet, watery light. I think there we've got the tide in, and this is the sort of bridge that's connecting the two islands together. And this one is trying to get the feeling of Uig Sands in quite a stormy day when suddenly a bit of the sand gets lit up by the sun.
And just tell me practically what it's like when you're out there, when the weather is changing, the clouds are moving so quickly, the light's coming out. How do you capture that? I mean, these paintings are magnificent.
I capture it very, very quickly. Sometimes the weather is too bad and I actually set up in my car, but I can tell the ones that I've done in my car because they're slightly tighter. I like the ones that I do outside much better because I suppose you have to you're battling the cold as well. So sometimes you get so cold that your fingers just aren't being able to hold the brush enough. and then you drop your palette and you drop it upside down and you've got bits of grass all stuck to it and you just have to keep on going until the light becomes too different and sometimes too dark to go on, but you're holding the memory of something always in your mind as well. So you've maybe seen it at 1 second and you want to get that atmosphere of that 1 second, but you need the bits and pieces of the landscape in as well. So yes, a lot of it is to do with your memory. And then I come back to my studio and I paint from those sketches, sometimes from my photographs. And then as you go on with this, they get looser and looser and looser. And the last couple are probably just finishing up my palette, but they're often the best. And it's to do with getting into this space where you're sort of relaxed, but very intent on it. This is one of the sketches I did on site. I probably had about 3/4 of an hour before the light went completely, but it led to a really interesting set of paintings, 2 paintings actually. The first one was this one. I didn't want the horizon to be so low as in that sketch. Very much enjoyed doing the second one. I was able to concentrate on the atmosphere. I'm very inspired by Diebenkorn. I'm also very inspired by the Scottish artists, particularly the Glasgow boys, who painted a lot outside. I love Arthur Melville. I'm also very inspired by people who paint landscape more on the brink of abstraction, and I feel that that's the direction my work is sort of going in more now. I think it's going to be a really interesting journey. I think they will get slightly less and less depictive of a certain place. The eye sees more when it is told not what to see. And I want to go more down that sort of route.
To work from the heart.
Yes, yes, but they will never stop being about light.
Thank you so much.